how do you live with yourself knowing you hurt somebody and just left them there?
This person is still out there and is actually a coward for not turning themselves in.
You're just driving, and tell me in that moment, like as you're driving, do you know what's going on around? Just tell me what you see ahead of you.
You mean?
Open road ahead of us.
Yeah.
She was driving, but I mean, there was open road ahead of us, no traffic coming towards us. It's a 2-lane road, you know, and with the speed, there's a couple speed bumps. This was the last speed bump before we hit the intersection. And she slowed down, the front tires went over, and right when the front tires went over, we heard a loud screech, and then, bam, an impact. And we got knocked into a house away from where we were. And then next thing you know, you hear some more screeching and you see the truck just fly right past us, hit the intersection, and the red light don't even stop and make a right. You hear him peeling out and just left.
Yeah.
And then she was hurt. I was in shock. I jumped out, checked on both of them, and my wife couldn't move, so I told her to just stay there till the ambulance comes.
His glasses were thrown
off his head.
And I
checked my granddaughter and everything, and you know, that's about what happened. We never
What's
got to see
going through your
him.
mind, like as you got hit? What went through your mind?
The first thing I thought was my family.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the van, and I saw them leave. I didn't even care about that. My granddaughter and my wife were my main
I do
concern.
remember yelling for her because I heard her scream immediately after we were hit.
She screamed?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
I think she was scared. Like, she was like, what was that? You know, she wouldn't have.
You know, good thing she was strapped in her car seat, because I think that's what helped. You know, car seats do work.
How hard was that hit?
It was hard. It's like I said, I never thought getting hit from behind was that bad, but it was.
The
it was
police
pretty
said
bad.
that they must have been going about 60 miles an hour.
The police said that?
Yes, in a
In
residential
a neighborhood.
area.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it hit so hard it knocked his glasses off of his head, off of his face.
I mean,
they winded up under my seat.
And tell me about the injuries you guys have, both of you.
Well, we both have
internal.
We just barely got back from the doctor right now. We both have
internal, external
internal
bruising.
and external bruising on our lower backs and our necks, and I have a big bruise on my leg, and she has both of her legs are bruised. Her foot is bruised from the impact of hitting the ground when it hit us from behind. And they said we're going to have to go through some therapy.
They're going to have to send us to therapy now.
I have a broken rib that was refractured in the accident.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I mean, besides not being able to sleep at night, and you know, now, you know, everything just seems scary, you know.
And when I drove the next day, I was scared to drive because now I'm constantly looking in the mirror to make sure nobody's coming too fast from behind me.
Yeah, because did you see that truck was even behind
No, I mean, we're driving normally. I wasn't speeding. I was getting to that bump. Didn't see nobody behind me. I didn't even hear it.
Well, we had no reason to look back. There was no noise.
There was no noise.
That's a regular, normal neighborhood street. It's usually a nice neighborhood. We grew up in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We know the street. So, I mean, no reason to even think anybody would be flying through there. There's so much traffic there.
What upsets you the most about?
What upsets me the most is that the person that did it could just live with themselves. One of us could have died, and they just took off because they're scared. They don't want to go to jail. You know, they'd rather.
I mean, we don't know why they left, but what makes me the
Because they
most
were
upset is,
scared.
you know, they didn't even stop to they don't even know. We had our granddaughter there. What if she would have got hurt? How do you live with yourself?
Yeah.
Knowing you hurt somebody and just left them there, you know, without giving them aid or anything, you know. I mean, accidents happen. If it was an accident, then stop and help, you know. I mean, it's a lot better than leaving.
And what did you say to your tata?
What did you say, Mama?
When they hit the car, when they hit the van, what did you think? What did you say? What did you do when they hit?
Did you get scared?
Yeah.
Did you ask Nana if she was okay? Did Nana knock out?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I didn't knock out.
What was she doing?
She was,
She said she
once
stole
I
my
checked her
skirt.
and she got out of the van, she was mainly just standing there holding my hand when we were waiting for the ambulance to get my wife out.
You said I had
She
my
was
eyes
scared.
closed? It was because I was
Yeah,
closing
she
my eyes
was-
when they put me in the ambulance.
She was scared and she said, Papa, Nana's knocked out. I said, no, she's awake right there. And she said, no. When they put her on the stretcher, I looked and her eyes were closed. She's knocked out and she was crying. I said, no, she's not knocked out. Don't worry. She was
She
scared.
was worried.
Yeah.
She was scared.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the second thing that happened to me that I had to be taken on a stretcher. She's seen it before too. I passed out at our apartment and I had a stroke and they had to come get me and she had to see that.
So if this person's still out there, they have no idea your little granddaughter was in the car, and you can talk to them. They didn't know who was in this car. What do you want them to hear from you?
I just want them to know that my 4-year-old granddaughter was in the car and she could have been killed. She was our main concern of it all, is her. You
Not
know?
only that, but they should consider
She was-
themselves lucky that
That it wasn't a
they
kid.
didn't really injure, no, they didn't kill anybody. So if they turn themselves in, it's going to be a lot better for them then if
Yeah.
they get caught. You know, I think it'll be better if they turn themselves in than if they get caught.
Yeah. What do you hope happens? Is my
I want justice now because this person is still out there and is actually a coward for not turning themselves in. I mean, I don't know what the situation is, why they ran. Yes, they were scared, but now that if they see this, maybe they'll see that there's a little girl. Maybe they won't be such a coward and come out and let everybody know who they are.
What I hope comes out of this is people realize, hey, you don't have to be in a rush that bad. It's not that important wherever you got to go. I mean, if it wasn't us, it could have been a kid running down the street. They would not been able to stop. It can happen to anybody. So, you know, people need to be a little more careful when they're driving. I mean, especially in a neighborhood, no reason to be going that fast at all.
Yeah, it just worries
Yeah.
you that people are doing that.
Yeah,
And
if it wasn't us, it could have been somebody else, you know. Or it could have been one of their family members. It could happen
Yeah.
to them. Like I said, I was scared for my wife and my granddaughter. I mean, I didn't even think about myself. I jumped out and my adrenaline was going. I wanted to make sure my wife and my granddaughter were okay.
And me, I was hurt and in pain and worried about her, but I was also worried about him because since he can't see, he was panicking because there was really nothing he could do because he can't see. He had to ask everybody around him to help him find his glasses because he needed to take care of his
I
granddaughter
had
and
to
his
ask
wife
bystanders for help
because he's blind because he can't see.
That's scary for me, you know.
Yeah, what does your tell me what your granddaughter means to you?
So,
I lost my vision about 4 years ago, and I felt my life was over. And she was born, and she saved me. She's my savior. I would not be here if it weren't for her, and I know that 100%.
oh, me too.
You know, she's my world. I can't imagine my world would have been over if anything would have happened to her.
This really scared you guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Has it been hard the last few days?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking it this way. We're alive. You know, we're all three alive. My granddaughter was unharmed. To me, that's all that matters. I just want justice, and I want my family to be safe. And
You
I
don't
want
I want them to get caught because now my
daughter-in-law
son and my daughter-in-law are out money that they gotta pay to get the van repaired, and you know they
and they
shouldn't
work
be out
hard
of
for
any
their
money.
money. You know,
They shouldn't be
so
out of money. They should be able to pay the, you know, whatever out of pocket they have to pay. Why should they be punished for something they didn't do? You know, or us? Why should we be punished? We were trying to do the right thing all day long, and this comes out of it, and then we have to pay the price. You know.
What were you saying, Giovanni?
What's your name again?
Delilah.
What's your name, Mom? Tell
say
your
it.
name.
Delilah Silva.
Hold on. It's scary. I would have rather her not have to go through that. You know.
yeah.
That's something that she'll probably remember for a long time. I don't want her to have memories like that, you know. I want her to have nothing but happy memories, happy thoughts. You know, to think that her grandmother was knocked out, it just makes me feel bad that she actually thought that.
She was nervous.
Yeah.
What did she say again?
She told me Nana's knocked out. And I
She said Nana's
she said,
passed
Nana
out.
got knocked out. And I said, no, she didn't. She said, yeah, I looked at her, Papa, and her eyes were closed. I said, she wasn't knocked out, Mom. She was just resting.
What was your biggest emotion after that? You know, you hear the screech and you feel the impact. What are you feeling that whole time? What's the biggest emotion?
Fear.
Fear, just nothing but fear of.
I couldn't jump up fast enough to check on them. That's the fear. And me not being able to see, I don't know. I really couldn't see what's going on. So
I could see him.
The fear of not being able to see and help your family is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
You know?
And she saw everything.
And I couldn't see her because she was in her car seat in the back of us.
And you couldn't move.
And I heard her yell, and then I guess I was just not paying attention. That's why she said I was passed out, but I wasn't passed out. I just didn't hear him when he got her out of the car, and I kept yelling for Delilah, and I couldn't hear her no more. So that's when he came and told me that she's out there, she's fine. So I didn't know.
That happened so fast.
It did. I mean, and it was unexpected. It was something we were not expecting, you know?
It's terrifying.
It's a scary
Take
thing.
care of your family. You always take care of your family and do what you can to make sure they're safe. And then when something like this happens and me not seeing when you can't do anything, the feeling of being helpless is the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing. I've always been able to fix any problem we have, and now, you know, just the fear of not being able to do nothing and ask people. I hate asking people for help, and that's what having to ask the bystanders for help. You know, and me not be able to do nothing was the worst thing ever. I want to be there. I want to save them. You know.
Weren't you singing Frozen?
Yeah.
And then what happened? That's when you heard what? What happened in Mommy's van?
Big noise.
A big noise. What did it do to you? Scared you?
Nothing.
It scared you, right?
Yeah.